Ready?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Oh, good. I'd like to share with you a little diagnostic trick that, I'll be honest, I thought of, but it probably already exists, right? It's probably a thing, but I was thinking about how to figure out what the heck is wrong with this car. Uh, this video is brought to you by an 85 Jaguar XJS that won't rev over 3,500 RPM. So clearly something is wrong, well, with either the fuel system or the ignition system. But I can tell when it's cutting out that fuel is dumping out the exhaust. And the tachometer bounces, as we'll show an example of that here in a little bit. So I have a simple strategy to test your ignition system. Clearly, if you have points ignition, you probably wouldn't be doing this. Points, simply you test it by moving the points. it's, and it makes a spark. It's really basic. This method is more for vehicles that, like in the 80s, early 90s, when you have fuel injection, where the ECU needs a signal from the coil, and so there, depending on how you do it, you can hook it up to where you can spin the distributor and you can watch your injectors fire and all that stuff. So I'm gonna run you through it real quick. I don't want to use too much of everybody's time, especially my slap happy camera.
Shut up!
All right, that's it. Okay, so there's really only a couple steps to get this set up. The first one is more of a safety step, and that is unplug your fuel pump or your fuel source. Even though the distributor isn't sending power to plugs, at some points it could, and then you might get a couple cylinders firing. The next step, as you see here, is pull the distributor. You want the distributor out, and then that way you can spin it freely, basically. But you'll note it's still hooked up to the car, so the VR sensor is still plugged into the car, so it's still getting power, and it's still sending signal to your your ignition box. Third step, get yourself a fine adapter. I got this from Snap-on for $27.99 a month for 32 years, but it's high quality. So anyways, basically use this to spin the distributor. That's the plan. You can spin it any way. The VR sensor doesn't care. It's a magnetic pickup, and it's gonna hit up on your high points of your what would you call that? Your thing. Your spinny toothed thing.
Nice wording.
All right, so on to testing. Go ahead and pause it. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick test, and it's kind of gonna demonstrate for you what is wrong with this car. There's a couple ways you can test this. The most simple one simply is is to have your cap on and then run a plug wire from the cap. Make sure your coil is running to your cap, and then run your cap to a spark plug, and put your spark plug on a grounded surface, and then spin it, and you can see if your spark plug is firing or not. That is the most basic way to test this. In our case, the car has a tachometer. It runs off the negative on the coil, so it should be picking up whatever signal I'm getting from the VR sensor here. And I'm going to show you now what it's doing, if you would like to show me. Is it still spinning smooth?
You're at 20.
Huh?
You're at 20. Almost at 30. Almost. Yep. Oh, and it dropped.
It dropped?
Yep.
Alright, go back to me. As you can see, it will not pick up RPMs past, what, 3,000 or so is what I'm guessing. This car is slightly special in which I do have some Mega Squirt fuel injection hooked up to this, so I can actually get on the laptop and read true RPM. The real problem is around 3,500 RPM, where it will not pick up a signal past that. So that is a good way to test it. I mean, I can't think of a better way. You don't have to run the engine. It doesn't take much time. And now, really, just to use this technique, I'm going to probably put a different VR sensor on there and attempt to see if that's the problem. Another positive to doing it this way is I have eyes on here and I can see, do I have shorts, do I have things sparking to other things? A lot of times that's your issue. I believe that's going to be about the easiest way to test these systems. And you can go farther. You can hook your cap up, you can hook all your injectors up and everything, and actually listen to the injector's pulse per RPM. But you want to make sure that everything inside here is working good first before all that stuff's going to work good too. But anyways, I think we found the problem with this car, and that is something inside the distributor. And now, so basically it's on to the repair. Simple as that. Thanks for watching, YouTube.